Hello, hello, my people. This is Dr. Tammy, and today I'm doing a quick one where I'll be sharing with you five biggest credit mistakes that we immigrants make that hold us back from being able to buy our own homes as fast as possible, because credit is a big deal when it comes to buying your home, unless of course you are buying cash, but if you have good credit, then they tell you have to deposit 10%, 20%, and so on. But with a good credit, you have the opportunity to get lower interest rates, and some low down payments as well. Okay, so I'll walk you through five biggest mistakes that I know we make that you want to avoid. And this is not really your fault. I mean, you're coming from Africa where it's a cash economy, right? And you come into the country, you have no idea where to start. Nobody taught you, how to navigate the system. You're here with your family and you've been paying rent for maybe 2-3 years, and it's now time for you to say, you know what? I can actually afford to buy a home, and then you're ready to buy, but hey, you can't because they tell you you have poor credit. And maybe you've lived in an apartment where you didn't really need to have a solid credit, and then it's time to rent a house or buy a house and you have issues. So here are the five mistakes you want to avoid. And I'm telling you this because I used to be that, right? That was also my situation, I just didn't understand it. And nobody had a full picture, but guess what? Today, as a certified financial coach, right, personal finance coach, and a licensed financial education instructor, I do have the details. I do have the numbers to teach, and that's why I'm doing this. Okay, for you guys who are my people and need this this knowledge, this information. So the first thing you want to avoid is not building your credit early enough. I see our people doing this a lot. They either avoid credit, like, no, don't be a lender, don't be a borrower. A borrower is a slave to the lender. All those things, like what we've been taught, our religious teachings back home. Never borrow. Unfortunately for you, America is built for credit. The system is designed for you to be in debt. And it's a good thing if you know what you're doing. It's a good thing, trust me. Just don't avoid it and don't abuse it. So start bidding early. In my line of work as a realtor, I see people who have 2 years rental history but zero credit score. And I'm wondering, why not? Like, no, I don't want credit. I don't want. And so I say, did you know that you can actually open a secured credit where you go to the bank and the bank will, go to the bank with cash, with your own cash, and they will open a secured credit card for you. It's your money. And you're spending against yourself, and you miss a payment or you miss something. It's not really counting against you because it's your money. Right? And you are able to start building your credit that way. Before you know it, you begin to get offers, and you can decline all those offers. But trust me, it is safe for you to start with your own money. Build your credit. Or if you know somebody that that you really trust, they can add you as an authorized user. But don't worry, I'll get to that. So the first thing to avoid is not building early. As soon as you come in, as soon as you are able to open a bank account, that same day, okay, open a secured credit account. Number 2 mistake to avoid is using too much credit. Now, your credit utilization takes up about 30% of your credit score. So you want to be sure that you are not owing too much. Now, what you owe is what the bank, what they report to the bureau at the end of your cycle, usually 21 days to 29 days, right? So know your cycle and be sure that what you owe at the end of your cycle is not more than 30% of your total credit. So let's say you have a credit of $100, worst case scenario, right? You can use the whole $99 actually. However, when it is time for you to pay back, you cannot pay minimum payment at that level. You have to pay at least $70. That way you are owing just $29 left. Right. Personally, I max out my credit card. Usually, like if I have 5K, I use it like 4.9. Why? Because I have this one card that is my utility card and I use it for everything. That way I'm able to track everything. But guess what? Before my due date, I pay off everything, like every damn thing. And my account goes back to zero, not owing anything. The trouble would be if I use that much and I don't pay back. If you don't trust yourself to pay back, please. And I only spend or only use the debts that I know I have the cash already. I just use those spendings for all the benefits, the cash backs and all those airline points that I get from it. If not, I don't spend what I don't know I have the money for. The debits in my account for it. So don't spend too much. When I came in, I was told that, don't spend more than 30%. So out of my maybe $200 or $500, I can't really remember now. Let's just say $200. I would spend just about $60 every month until the following month. It was really restrictive. And so at the time, I had to just stop using the card because it was too tiny to be spending $60 in my $200. So I just stopped using it. Unfortunately, I was misinformed. Once I learned that you can use it, but the remaining balance, what you are owing by your cycle, is what must not be more than 30% of what you of your total credits, amount. Okay. Number 3 mistake to avoid is paying your bills late. When you miss a payment, your credit score can drop as much as 100 points or more. I'm telling you. The worst case I always recommend is set up an automated debit such that you are able to pay the minimum, which is usually maybe like 5% or even maybe even 3% of the total amount you are owing. So no matter how bad, ensure that you have that minimum payment in your account so that they can debit you. That way you are not owing. I have an excellent payment history. Like I get these emails from Credit Karma. They're saying like, wow, you are on a streak. You've never missed a payment. I'm like, yes, that's me. 30 months in the United States and I'm a hot streak. I love those compliments from Experian and so, the bureaus. So please ensure that you are paying your bills on time. Do not pay it late. I beg you. It accounts for 35% of your credit score. That is a lot. Okay. Number 4 mistake to avoid is applying for too many loans at the same time. You're trying to apply for this. So they're sending you offers and you're taking all the offers. Those things lead to hard inquiries on your account. So number 1, you lose points. Number 2, you look desperate to the bureau. Like you are desperately looking for credit. It's not good for your history. So what you want to do, space out how much. So for example, I got an offer from a bank, I think last week for $50,000. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take it up. But I'm like, until April. Why? Because my last inquiry was last year, November. So I'm like, I want to just give like 6 months space before the next one. But guess what? If I miss that opportunity, I know for sure I would get another offer that will say, hey, now we are offering you maybe 70 or 60 or even 55 extra. Yes, because they don't see me, going for the offers as much. So I'm not desperate for it. So space out your applying for loans. Don't do it all at once. It will crash your credit score and not make you look good. Okay. Number 5 mistake to avoid is closing old credit account. Your credit age in America is very important. In fact, if you have between, I think 1 and 4 years, you are on poor. That's that bad. If you are between 5 and 6 years, you are unfair. You are placed on fair. If you have between 7 and 8 years, you are on good. And I think if you're above 10 years or so, you are excellent. So imagine when it will take you and I to get to excellent. That's like 10 years from now. But the average American who was born here, their father just add them to their credits as what's it called now, authorized user, and they inherit like 30 years of credit history. With that alone, they have hit like 20% of their credit score. Crazy. But you and I, we are there. Everything is good. But at that age, did you know that last year November I applied for a business credit, and everything was good. My credit score is 760. 760. But Chase Bank refused me. They sent an email, and the mail to my mailbox said this was what they saw, but the age, my credit age, was too young. Yeah, it was very sad. And I had other people who did not have as much as my credit score in my business group, who were getting approvals, 120K, 150K. I think the young minimum was maybe like $85,000 or so. I had this girl who got 132K. I'm like, God, everything was the same, but mine was too young. So what should you do? I tell you, don't close your oldest credit account. Don't. But more importantly, look for someone trustworthy, or somebody who finds you trustworthy, who has been here or has a history of at least 10 years, and get them, beg them to add you to as an authorized user to their oldest card, the one that they've maintained a very good history. That way you can inherit their years, and then you are good. I wish someone had told me this last one 2 years ago. By the time I heard it, and I asked one of my very good friends, Natalie, to do it for me, I inherited, since she was 19, she had a credit card, and she's 41 now. I inherited 22 years of credit history. But of course, I told her to keep the card with her. I have no access to the card, so I don't even use it. It does not impact her, and we are good. Maybe after like 1 or 2 years, she would remove me. But by then, I've built something, or get somebody else to add me. But either way, these are my tips for you today. And of course, once you have this and we are putting together your document for you to buy your home, you can be on a good stand as a first-time home buyer here in the USA. I trust this was valuable to you. If it was, leave me a comment. Just drop the word value. No, is it value? No, drop the word green. That's credits, green. Just put green in the comments. That tells me that yes, you saw it to the very end. Please share this with every immigrant you know. Our people are literally perishing for lack of knowledge. Let's change the game. Enough of gatekeeping and hoarding information. Let's demystify that thing that Africans don't share. Let's cut that crap of Tishweniba, a man for what Bojeni. Fuck it. Okay? Let it off the window. It's time to make this thing public for all of us to know and grow and learn and build a legacy and build wealth in our community. Okay? This is Dr. Temia Jibewa doing my own quota of the Lord's work right here. God bless you, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.